Aries, hello. Thank you so much for joining me here on Patreon for this extended. For those of you who are new to my work here, welcome. Thanks so much for joining the patronage, and I'm happy to have you. For those of you who are returning patrons, y'all know you keep me floating. I love ya. Okay, quick recap before we get into this. You're getting some kind of insight here, Aries, some sort of deep, intuitive, emotional insight, some sort of deep, like psychic, prophetic knowing about a move that you need to make, some sort of action you need to take. It's like it comes through as this really intense truth that is given to you, and you here as the King of Wands, the Fire King, you're a little taken aback on the action that you're being asked to take, either by the universe, by your higher guidance, or by someone else in your life. You're a little bit like, whoa, really? That's what you want me to do? And I think you're having a hard time conceiving of how this can even really go about. You're like, but I feel kind of stuck. I feel kind of trapped. It's like, are you though? Because if you are able to take action on this, it seems to be leading you towards something quite happy, that is like, this is the energy of making magic in your life, and towards something that gives you more happiness, more freedom, more openness. But I have the feeling that it is going to require some work. It is going to require some work here on the earth plane, because the Magician sometimes speaks to me of like the ability to manifest. But, you know, manifestation is not just about I desire it and it comes to me. It's about like using all of the tools at your disposal, not just water, you know, not just dreaming, not just insight, not just contemplation, but it's like after this period of contemplation, I think it's going to be time to spring into action again. I'm being drawn to start with the Divine Doors deck here. Lots of little doorways, lots of little words of wisdom. Because I think a door is opening here for you, Aries, and it feels kind of big. And I just want to ask, what is this about? You know, what is the door that's opening for Aries here in the month of July? It's like, what are you being asked to do? Cards go everywhere. Okay. One second. You got two. Okay, this isn't super clarifying for me right now. Here's the two doors. This Buddha door says offering. Abundance lies in the heart that allows. Share more than expected. See love come around. That's interesting, the heart. Speaking of like the heart space, there's an offering. Either like you are being offered something, or you are offering something you are offering that you need to take action on. I'm not exactly sure. And then the other card here says 1111. Numbers in doubles, synchronicity in two. Don't hold back your love now. Life is meant for you. Both cards mentioning love. It's kind of interesting. And like giving and receiving love and not holding back. Okay. We'll just stick those over here in the corner and see what other stuff we can pull out. We're going to use the Aquarian Tarot for clarity here. Let's start with the Queen of Cups. Why is the Queen of Cups energy here as the shape that Aries is shifting out of in the month of July? Woo, that was fast. Okay, Four of Pentacles reversed. I think this insight is, you know, the Four of Pentacles talks about being like in a very practically minded, foundation building, rooted place. In reverse, it talks to me of uprooting. It talks to me of like less of a tether to the ground, to the earth, to a sense of place, to a sense of four walls, four corners, a foundation, a structure, something shifting in the structure. Let's ask about the Queen of Swords. because these two queens feel connected to me, because out of the Queen of Cups comes the truth of the Queen of Swords. Out of this shifting of your emotional ground, because again, Queen of Cups is emotional energy. I want you to see this. I'm seeing this right now. The Queen of Cups looks awfully direct. See that? Looking right at the fourth wall, looking right at you, like, this is my truth. You know it, you see it, I see it. And it's an emotional truth, perhaps. And then it's almost like the Queen of Swords takes that and like communicates it clearly. This is the feeling, and now I communicate it. This is the intuitive insight, and now I speak about it clearly. Let's ask about the Queen of Swords. Why is the Queen of Swords here for Aries in July? Judgment. Speak about it clearly. Look at that. He's blowing the horn. Blowing the horn on something. Either you're blowing the horn on something or someone else is blowing the horn to you. Like, you know, the trumpet announces. Swords are about communication as well as truth. So here, like, do you see even the way the sword is directed in the same way that the trumpet is directed? There's something being announced. And the Judgment card talks about an awakening, an experience of enlightenment or epiphany, or again, look at the sun. Pal, whatever this is, I really think it's for your higher good, because look at that sun. It's like, it is an illuminating moment, I think, a moment of epiphany, illumination, awakening of some sort. And I think it's towards something really great. But maybe just like something kind of big. And maybe you can't see that it's great at the time because it feels stressful. I mean, maybe this is even just as simple as like Queen of Cups is an internal knowing that you need to uproot. You need to move. You need to change the structure of something. Maybe it's not a literal move, but it could be, because I keep saying like, you need to move on this, or this is the realization that you need to move, or something needs to move. So it could be that you're just like, you're realizing deep inside of you that it's time to shift the structure of your four walls or your sense of place. Four of Pentacles, and like, this is the announcement that you're doing that. And you know, Judgment is no small energy. That's a really big major arcana energy. And that's why this feels really hard, I think, and why there's like all this energy of feeling taken aback, because, you know, Judgment is sort of like a difficult awakening, an incredibly transformative awakening. It's Pluto energy. And there's a lot of like moon Pluto aspects this month with the significant moon phases, the quarter squares. Moon is squaring Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, both squares this month. And I believe the new moon as well is conjunct or opposite. I can't remember it right now. Either conjunct or opposite. I want to say opposite Pluto. So there's a lot of intensity, and Judgment again is Pluto energy. So there's some sort of like something that has been kept below the surface, because Pluto rules that underworld space, coming up into the light. I just keep like doing I know that's kind of Blue's Clues, but I just keep doing this like trumpet sounding, bringing this thing that's been underlying, that you know deep inside, bringing it up into the light of day. Again, the Sun card. Okay, so let's look at the King of Wands, Eight of Swords. What's this like? King of Wands, what's the action that you're being asked to take? King of Wands, Magician, What is the action Aries is being asked to take in July? Oh, look at that. 8 of Swords reversed. You're being asked to open your mind. Look at that. 8 of Swords twice now. You're being asked to perhaps think outside of the box. Think outside, ooh, box. And I always feel the 4 of Pentacles as 4 walls or 4 corners, which would be a square, which would be like, that's why I often think of it as like a room that you live in or a home that you live in, because that's kind of the 4 walls feeling. But it's interesting that I just said think outside the box. Again, that could literally be talking about the 4 walls that you live in. Think outside your 4 walls. But regardless, it's saying think outside of what you're used to. Try to break out of the things that limit you in terms of what you conceive is possible and what you conceive you can and cannot do. You have more wiggle room than you think you do. Maybe. Let's see, what is the King of Wands Magician? What's the action Aries is taking? The Sun, all these repeating cards. It's like you're being asked to move towards something that is happier for you. Like move where your happiness is. Don't stay where you feel kind of trapped and mentally overwhelmed and bogged down. It's like, why are you staying in that space? Whether it's a situation or a location you're in that is keeping you in a place of mental entrapment, or whether this is just saying like, stop staying in a place of mental, like what do I want to say? Like mental stuckness maybe, or stagnation, like just kind of feeling like you're in the same hamster wheel mentally. And the Sun again is this energy of bursting, of like heart energy. It's interesting too, because this Sun energy, the Leo energy, is heart-centered. It is the heart bursting open and moving from the heart, allowing the heart to direct you forward. And those 2 doorways that came out were all about love, all about opening your heart and not holding back. Okay, I feel like I need one more. King of Wands Magician. What's the action Aries is being asked to take in July? I think this is a change in direction. I think this is a change in direction. There's a sense of deliberating, you know, there's a sense of like, I just don't know where to go. Look at this person in the 5 of Wands looking up at the Sun. Again, like the 5 of Wands talks about confusion because of perhaps the mental blocks, the mental limitations around this, or the mental overwhelm around this. 5 of Wands can talk about overwhelm too, because it's this messy energy. It's this energy of like, oh God, we're all here. We all have a wand and no one knows which way to go. And it's this like really confusing part of the process. Notice how this person in the 5 of Wands is looking directly up at the Sun, and the King of Wands is that same person. This is you looking directly up at the Sun. You see what I mean? There is this energy of like, turn your gaze towards the Sun, lift your gaze, your chin, your eyes up and out of the narrow, confined perspective of where you currently are. It's like turn your face towards the Sun and receive this like enlightenment moment, this aha moment, this revelation, this truth bomb, you know, this judgment awakening of like, ah, oh, okay, you know? Okay. So everybody's looking up at the Sun in this spread to help them understand which way to go. Because with this card in particular, 5 of Wands, I always feel this, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which way do I go? A lot of confusing feelings, a lot of confusing energy, a lot of potential actions on the table that's leading to this sense of like being unsettled. So what is the sun energy saying? Like, what is the sun asking of Aries in July? It's interesting too, because it's like, you know, that sun energy is summer energy. Summer energy, and we, you know, as we cross from June into July, we are reaching summer solstice. Look at that. Knight of Swords is what the sun is asking of you, my friend. Knight of Swords is the fastest moving energy in the tarot. The Knight of Swords is here to take action. You know, knights are about action and movement. To move quickly on whatever insight or truth bomb came out of the Queen of Swords energy. You gotta move on it. You just do. You gotta move on this. I don't know that you really move swiftly. Move swiftly on this. Can I just get anything else? Aries, I want to know what it is. What else can we get on the Sun and the Knight of Swords for Aries in July? Move quickly on what? A decision that you're seem to be weighing up, tossing up. So again, Two of Pentacles is something pretty emotional because of the tossing seas in the background. It's like you're torn between two places, or two people, or two projects, or two jobs, like something that you are torn between. You're trying to hold both of them and like keep them both, you know, this card talks about keeping both balls in the air, and it's like, but the Judgment is a reckoning. You know, the energy of like Judgment plus Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords kind of cuts through any sort of wavering, wishy-washy in-between energy like this. The Queen of Swords says, no. You know, like the Queen of Swords is like, pick one. Like you're trying to split yourself between two locations, or split yourself between two people, or two energies, something like that. And it's like, you just need to take action. And I think pretty quickly, and with power, with like the power and conviction of the truth, to move quickly on something without hesitation towards the thing that makes you happy. I just saw 1818. The thing that makes you the happiest. That's what you move towards. What feels like freedom? What feels like openness? If you are able to lift the energy of like mental overwhelm and limitation around, I think, like the practical. I think what's distressing you here in the Eight of Swords is all of the practical stuff around like how to actually make it happen. You know, because the Five of Wands can be like, there's just too many tasks to do if I'm really going to do what I'm being asked to do here. Like, how are all those puzzle pieces going to fit in? How would that even work? It's like, that's not up to you right now. What you're being asked to do is make a clear choice, I think, and act on it. A clear choice towards what makes your heart feel the most open and free and allows your like love to flow. All right, let's get some other insight here. We're gonna go to the Illuminated Earth deck. What is this about for Aries, or maybe what is the advice for Aries in the month of July? Well, one card came out so far. Resilience. Yeah, my friend, you know, like I have a lot of compassion here for whatever this is that you're being asked to do, or this truth that you just like know you have to act on. It's like, I get this energy of like, I'm tired. You know, like almost the energy of like, I'm here again. You know, like I'm here. I can't believe I'm doing this again. Or like, I can't believe I'm finding myself in this kind of place again. That's the energy I feel from resilience. What else for Aries in July? Relationship. Yeah, for sure. I mean, all that heart energy that came through in the Doors deck. This could be some conflict. You know, I don't know. For some of you, I mean, gosh, there's so many Aries people, right, that I'm probably tuning into. For some people, you could be experiencing like a collision, some sort of headbutting, some sort of like bumping up against something in relationship that's just like not working. And the truth is you gotta go, you know, and like I did that because of the Queen of Swords. Where is she? I have so many cards. You know, the Queen of Swords is like, come on, like see this clearly. Either see that there is a union, a uniting of two fire energies, right? Aries and another fire energy maybe that you need to act on, okay? Or like you need to see the truth about the kind of chaos that is coming out of this relationship and move on this. Take some sort of action around it. I'm gonna get one more from this deck. Potential, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, Aries, whatever this is for you, and again, like, we're not being shown very clearly, I'm not being shown very clearly what exactly this is. And I think the reason for that is there's a lot of Aries and it's going to be different for all of you. You likely know what it is that I'm picking up on for you. But the reality is, even though this thing feels a bit this thing that you feel you are being asked to do, or that you are literally being asked to do, feels really overwhelming and feels like something you can't even wrap your mind around having to do, and is something quite emotional for you, I think, something that really impacts your heart. It is trying to unlock some real potential here for like new growth. I mean, I'm looking at these fields, the field here in the potential card. It's almost like new horizons, or like new, you know, there's lush growth here happening in this field. Potential, it's ace energy, it's new beginning energy. That's the energy that the sun is bringing with it. It's like a new start or a new beginning somehow. There's a lot of potential here. That's what it feels like. If you can get over the mental humps around taking action on this. Okay. Final card for Aries in July. We are looking at the liminal space deck. What's the advice for Aries in July? Aries, an offering, you wished for this. How? This feels like this energy. And look, The Queen of Cups is even holding a feather quill, and an offering is a feather. Look at that. It's like whatever this offer is, that's maybe the Queen of Swords is delivering to you, or the offering from the universe that's like making itself abundantly clear to you. It is bringing you what you wished for. Something that you have desired. Something that I think is moving you towards happiness. But again, I do feel this like mental hump to get over in order to move towards this. And again, what's really interesting about this is you got offerings twice. An offering and the offerings is the doorway that's opening. And I do want to say one more thing. The Queen of Cups can talk about that like spiritual insight that comes from like meditation or contemplation. And I felt the drinking of the tea and the tea leaves and the healing and all that medicinal stuff. That's Queen of Cups energy. And then the doorway pictured on the offerings card is this Buddha energy, which is again that like spiritual connection. This is an offering coming in, I think, from a more like spiritual place of insight, but it's like opening your heart. Again, the offerings card says abundance lies in the heart that allows. Share more than expected and see love come around. It's like you wished for this. This is something that is bringing you heart opening, but it's like you have to allow it. You have to sort of open your mind to this move or to this action you're being asked to take, or maybe like you're getting some sort of offer that's going to change something pretty significant for you. And it's like, do I take this? Like, I can't take this. That would mean I have to blah, 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 blah. Or, but it's like, you wished for this, Aries. If there's a lot of potential here, take the offer, maybe. Okay, really, really potent energy here for you in July, my friend. I hope you found this resonant and helpful for you. If you'd like a personal reading to dig into how this is really applying to your life in July, please let me know. unseenhandshealing.com is where you can read all about my offerings. All right, Aries, take care. I'll talk to you soon.